VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. And we are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort Casino for the next 3 hours today. Busy Football Friday lined up. We'll get to all of the games in Week 6. Plenty of player props that we like. I think In Pocket Plays today might be the longest list that we've ever had in the history of the show.
Good. Should be.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Going into the weekend.
Give them winners.
Major League Baseball playoff games that we have. Marquee, huge weekend in college football. Mike Somich, best bets in 30 minutes. Adam Chernoff on the program in 90 minutes. Matt Humans on the program as well. We'll start by recapping a little bit what took place because we are doing the lead-in, like the pregame show on Mondays and Thursdays here on VSiN. So we take you right into the primetime game. We talk about a ton of bets. But one that Tim Murray brought up last night, I didn't even look at before the game. He brought it up and to our attention, Pauly, and it made a lot of sense at the time going into the game. And that was the 49ers to win the division at even money at DraftKings. And we liked them, right? We pointed out several times on the air yesterday that we liked them in the game. Now, if they were to lose the game, we thought they were going to miss the playoffs. But we liked them. We thought they were going to be too good for Seattle, and it was a bad spot for the Seahawks as well. Even money yesterday now turns into minus 180 as we speak. And now they get the Chiefs on deck.
Yeah.
Like, what's that number if they lose to KC coming off the bye? It'll come back down, obviously, but that was really the time to buy. I mean, they were a huge favorite all year long, obviously, to win that division.
Mm-hmm. And they have an excellent offense and a good team, but just can't have Shanahan get in the way. Again, like he did last night. I can't believe you lost to Arizona and you lost to the Rams, but now adjusted wins, 9.5 over, minus 180. And Seattle, 8.5 under, minus 150 now. So all the good vibes and feelings and hello, Seattle. Now you go from 3-0 to 3-3, and Atlanta's on deck. And you have a ton of issues defensively, and Geno Smith continues to turn it over.
Well, I don't know what Ryan Grubb was calling last night either, right away in the first half. That was, I don't know if he's trying to keep away from the Niners offense, but they were not aggressive whatsoever. The passing game didn't even really try. I mean, I know Geno was really sloppy and had some bad throws. You can't debate that, but terrible game plan in the first half. And the Niners, like you said, Shanahan, there's a spot there. If the Seahawks go down and score, they have the lead. And then all of a sudden, gigantic lead is it vanished again.
What is wrong with this guy?
I don't know.
Why does this keep happening? The game was over. 23-3, third quarter. It's over. They can't move the ball on you.
Right.
The game, and then again, he won't kick the ball through the end zone. And the only way they can come back is turnovers or special teams buffoonery, and that happened. And then he does it again, where after they return one for a touchdown, he still won't kick it through the end zone. And then for the second week in a row, your kicker gets hurt making a tackle. What are you doing? Well, what am I supposed to do? How about you tell your kicker, don't try to make a tackle, but how about you kick it through the end zone and don't have so they can't bring it out? So you give up a touchdown. It almost costs you the game, and then you get back-to-back weeks where your kicker gets hurt, and it cost you the game against Arizona because you didn't have a guy to make a field goal then.
That's exactly right.
When it's 4th and 23 and you have to go for it. So it's just the downgrade this guy big time, and nice job getting a win, but it shouldn't have been Harry, and it's just unacceptable some of the stuff he continues to pull.
And I can tell you right now, to go back to the division conversation, what the price was last night before the game, we loved it. Now minus 180 like we talked about. However, at the same time, this team, I would not waste a single penny betting them to win the NFC or to win the Super Bowl. You cannot, based on the history of DVOA anyway, advanced metrics, have this piss poor of a special teams unit and even make the Super Bowl.
That's true.
Like history tells you it's not going to happen. That Packers team that lost to the 49ers a couple of years ago at home at Lambeau, they had either the 31st or 32nd ranked special teams in football. They were awesome everywhere else. Guess what? Their special teams cost them the game. They were 31st going into that game last night. And it was just the kicker actually made a bunch of field goals.
Matthew Wright was good.
He was fine.
Yeah.
But allowing that kickoff return as a touchdown, no thank you. That team's not coming out of the NFC.
Yep. Now, the other comeback will be that the game also should have been over, but they had a horrible call that went against them, which I cannot believe in a billion-dollar industry that the league, the review center doesn't have the enhanced feed of the video And Walt Anderson says, well, we didn't have that look that Michaels and Amazon Prime and everyone got. I mean, how about Tristan Paul here? How about the guy on a train in Saskatchewan with that? I don't have the fans feed. How about this feed right here? I mean, the guy's sitting there on a train in Saskatchewan, and he's got it right there, and you can't get this in $1 billion operation with what you're doing. You can't get the right feed.
He's watching the game with his feet kicked up.
I know.
It's like a 10-inch TV that he tweeted us at last night. He's like, guys, I can tell in the middle of nowhere right now on a train on my 10-inch TV that what the appropriate call was, and they don't have that replay available to them back in. That's what are we doing? It's forget billion. It's a multi-billion-dollar company and league.
How do you miss that? It's 49er ball.
Yes.
It's right there. We didn't have that angle. Unbelievable. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's just something every single day and every night you come in and you can't believe it, right? And then Mason gets hurt, and then...
Are we allowed to see what the replay center has? Is that possible?
Yeah, right. Goes back to LeBron, some guy in Secaucus with a ham sandwich.
That's right.
What he's doing, I know.
Like if they if the viewers at home on Amazon Prime were to see what the replay center is looking at, would we all just be staring at the TV saying, "Well, that's a terrible angle. We have no idea." Mm. There's no evidence here of to keep it the way it was called on the field, to overturn it, to do whatever it is, and that's how Amazon, the TV feed should not have a better feed than the people who need to make these critical calls. Also, I got a problem with DK Metcalf not going for that pass. He never made an effort for that pass.
Yeah.
That he could have had for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Go up and get it, big guy. Come on.
Now, how about sliding down at the end?
Well, that was huge for a lot of people.
He said he was looking at the sideline, but it's like Debo's like, why are you looking at the sideline? Score. But Seattle let them score anyways. But still, it's a 5-point game, and they have their timeouts. That still, you could argue they get the ball back. It's an 8-point game.
No, that
got hairy.
It was a mistake.
Yes.
He did not.
Right.
He thought, okay, I'm going to do the wise thing here, something that's become very commonplace over the last 10 years in football. I'll take the knee. We're going to win the game. Oh, hold on a second here. They're fully loaded with the timeouts. There's still plenty of time on the clock. You make the field goal, then they can come back down and we can go to overtime. Bad move out of him. He thought it was a good move. It turned out to be a bad move. And then the Seahawks, and another thing too, so the second, and I'm not exaggerating, that Mason went down with the injury, I went to multiple apps trying to bet Garendo to score an anytime touchdown. He was 13-1. Everything was pulled immediately.
Oh.
So couldn't get down on that.
Tough.
Also, I don't even know what he was to score the last touchdown of the game.
I can't imagine. Here at Circa, 70-1 most rushing. Gash it. Oh.
70-1.
70-1 to lead the league and to lead the game in rushing yards.
Well,
I know.
We talked about this on the show. Debo was plus 625 most receiving.
Yeah. That I had right.
And you broke that down 5 different times yesterday.
Oh, he's owned them. Total ownage. Yep. And he has the long one right off the bat. So easy over there. That's right. But, you can't tell me they can't beat Kansas City in a couple weeks either. I mean, they just got to get healthy, stop turning the ball over, beat themselves, clean up the special teams. Defense was better. It's just you get inexcusable to lose to the Arizona and the Rams.
It is. Seattle today, by the way, plus 210 to make the playoffs.
Yikes. Well, that's escalated quickly.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy. I don't know. And I don't think it's going to go well when they play Atlanta coming up. And I would think Kirk's going to feast in that game, too.
Yeah. It was a really, really good night in sports, though.
Yes, it was.
The baseball game is going on. Unfortunately for the Royals, they fizzled out. That was no good for me personally. Had them at a big ticket from back in April to win the American League, but they couldn't score.
Tough one for you.
So that team did not win a game at home going all the way back to September 8th.
Yeah, lost their last 9.
Oh,
couldn't hit it all. How about the offense? How bad are the Orioles? They lost 1-0 and 2-1. But again, Kansas City can't hit. And then the Yankees go into their ballpark and score 3 runs both games, and it holds up. Bullpen was awesome. Full marks there. Didn't give up a run. But Cole was awesome. But to lose 3-2 and 3-1, and you're out. But it's a good job by the Yankees pen. Good job by Cole showing up. Stanton, again, with the big RBI. Getting that run early with the lead, Soto. So now they put their feet up and they wait till Monday.
Let me give you some look-ahead numbers here to the ALCS. Mm-hmm. Yankees minus 190 versus the Guardians. This is from an offshore book. Yankees minus $2 against the Tigers. Don't you like the Yankees now against the Tigers because of what's going to happen?
This is huge. Huge for the Yankees.
Huge now.
The Guardians tie it up.
Yeah.
They're not going to have, who can you throw when the series starts? And now even if Detroit advances, you don't get Scooble till game 3.
That's exactly right.
And then you got the short turnaround. By the way, they moved the game up 7 hours, if you missed that. So tomorrow it's at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, with game 5, because it could rain later in the night. So huge wins for the Yankees. Huge.
Well, and there's no doubt that they're $2. I don't think they would have been $2 had the Tigers clinched yesterday, because now we're talking about potentially Scooble at least twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
I'd like the Tigers.
Yeah. And in all your years watching sports, where did the Liberty fiasco rank?
That's all time. That's up there with one of the biggest collapses I've ever seen. They are smashing the Lynx. First of all, we missed that one. Probably should have had them like in the first quarter, maybe the first half, because it was a really terrible spot for Minnesota. It was a great handicap on our part because we bet them as a hedge to win game 1 and then to win the series as well. Now that all goes down in flames because that was minus 160, and they blew a 15-point lead late with like 5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
Couldn't score.
Historic, yes.
And I got to tell you, by the way, the refs were trying to give them the game. This league is, you call it the hockey, a garage league.
Yeah.
This is minor league.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you can look at this and say it's professional basketball, the way it's run. They need to get everything, they need to flip everything in this sport.
Between the scheduling, the ball goes off Stewart's foot with 3 seconds, but it has to be a coach's challenge to look at it? This is the finals.
How ridiculous is that?
Foot.
Clearly off her foot.
Oh, then they call the foul with 0.8 seconds, which you never make that call. But she splits the free throws and they beat him in overtime.
Both those things, right? Off the foot, obvious to anybody, can't make the call on the court. And then how do you make the call with 0.8 seconds left on the foul? Total abomination.
Incredible win, though.
Oh, great win.
All-time win. Awesome.
Yep. Up next, we finally saw some money come in against a one-win team here on VSiN.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up Friday on Follow the Money, we recap Thursday night football and look ahead to a great weekend of NFL and college football action. Adam Chernoff with picks and props. Game 5, Padres-Dodgers. Follow the Money weekdays, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to see who at VSiN is on a hot streak? Go to vsin.com/picks to see all the selections and weekly leaderboard of VSiN hosts, writers, and guests. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber and get every pick sent to your inbox daily. Just head to vsin.com/pro.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Another London game this week. It kicks off the coverage on Sunday. Jacksonville plays against Chicago. Money coming in on the Jags. Bears are down to 1 at several spots. Total is 44.5. Usually these London games produce kind of low-scoring games, not a lot of offense, not a lot of fireworks. I think it's going to be kind of the opposite here. Paul Charchin was on the program yesterday. He had a great breakdown, and the more I looked at this game, I think he's exactly spot on. Jacksonville is 32nd overall in defensive DVOA. Here's the overall breakdown in the passing attack. They're 27th against wide receiver ones, 32nd against wide receiver twos, allowing 93 yards per game to the position. And they are 22nd versus wide receiver threes, 25th against tight ends. And I think with Caleb Williams improving, this is going to be a DJ Moore and Rome Odunze special for Chicago in this game, where they're going to be targeted early, often. I bet Odunze several different ways. We'll have that in pocket for you a little bit later on. There is no Jaquan Brisker in the Brisker in the secondary for Chicago. He's a good player, but they do have the 7th best overall defensive DVOA, 2nd best against the pass.
I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me too with the move. Now, I find it interesting that Chicago left Monday, Jacksonville left Thursday. That's their usual routine, but then again, they're out there for 2 weeks. They've won 3 of their last 4 in London. They're 1-12 against the NFC North since 2012. But I kind of like them in this game, but I can't get there with their defense. Second worst pass defense, everything you talked about, horrific against the Colts, almost blowing that lead, big playability, like you talked about in Charchin, where these guys can eat and taking shots down the field on them, giving up almost 400 yards a game and all the points. And it's the other thing is I saw Stacey Dales on a Chicago radio station that the Bears don't script their plays to start, which is nuts. And I've never heard of that either.
No, neither have I.
It could be an issue why they have problems out of the gates and get going. But, Chicago defense, nasty. That's 11 games in a row they've held their opponents to 21 points or fewer.
Oh, it's a very good unit.
That is. Yep. So what are you going to get out of Lawrence? How many points are they going to score? Because the Bears should be able to get theirs. So this one's tough, but I'm surprised with the move. But, I can't get there with this Jacksonville defense. No way. Can't do it.
No, neither can I. And that's why I'm attacking this game from a player prop perspective with the receivers for the Bears. Also, I would say that, we're seeing a changing of the guard in the Jacksonville backfield. And I think this is going to be Tank Bigsby's now. It's going to be his backfield over Travis Etienne. The Bears are 30th overall against the run, DVOA. So that's the way to attack them, because you're not going to get much against this team in the air whatsoever. And I think Trevor Lawrence is below average. So there was a good breakdown again why Brian Thomas, this is not the week to be on him.
Yes.
Jalen Johnson is an ace cornerback in this league, and he's been shutting down everybody. But I money now on Jacksonville, is it that faith here that they've been over there so many times and it's Eberflus on the other side?
Yeah, and anti-Bears, Bears great at home, not so much on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be to me.
The Cardinals are playing at Lambeau against the Packers. Here at Circa, Green Bay is now favored by 6. It's minus 105. Cardinals defense overall, 26th. Same number against the pass. The breakdown overall, it's not pretty. They're 22nd against wide receiver ones, 30th against wide receiver threes, allowing 65 yards per game. The Packers are middle of the league with all those categories. DNPs this week, Arizona tackle Kelvin Beachum, Packers defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt, Christian Watson and Jair Alexander were limited earlier in the week, so definitely monitor that. But they've been floating around the 5.5 number now. Circa, I think, the first book to go to 6.
Yeah, I like the Packers, so it might be a contest play too. Yeah, remember we talked about this in the summer, about how Green Bay's schedule was backloaded?
Yeah.
So they got to have this one. Number one, Arizona hasn't been good off a win. But if Green Bay wins, you go to 4-2. After this, Houston, Lions, Bears, Niners, Detroit, at Seattle, New Orleans, at Minnesota, Chicago. Got to get this one. You're number one in takeaways. We talked about McKinney, what they done defensively. We won some games without Love going down. Hopefully all this drama and nonsense with the running backs and getting guys healthy and what's going on with Dobbs is okay. But you got to have this game. And I think they'll get it, and they can win convincingly. And it was a good job defensively to beat the Rams. Love has to be better. Again, the horrible pick six. We went over that. But you got to go to 4-2 with what's coming up. Now, maybe you don't have any problems beating Jacksonville, and you're going to get maybe a gift with Miami on Thanksgiving, but who knows if Tua's back. But when you're looking at Houston, Detroit, Chicago a couple times, Detroit again, Minnesota, that is tough. Because if you blow this game, you're not leaving yourself a lot of wiggle room. Better win this.
Yep. Okay, so another game that I'm confused at with this point, right? Because Colts opened up the favorite. Titans quickly flipped. It touched 3 for a long time. Now down to 2.5 at most spots. Total is around 43. So a couple of wide receivers here for the Colts. Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, right? Did not practice Wednesday. They had DNPs on Thursday. They were full today. And what was the talking point about the players here with the Colts?
A travesty. It was Pittman's out multiple weeks, and they might put him on IR.
Yeah, think about that.
He's at practice today. He's questionable.
I'm looking right now at the practice report. He was full today after 2 DNPs. You can't have this again.
No. Nope.
Close to going on IR. That's the talking point. No, hold on a second. He might play this week.
Yep. That's enormous because you don't have Taylor. I mean, imagine if he's down. It's going to be Richardson, not Flacco. The Colts can't stop anything. The Titans have won 7 in a row off the bye. This is a great spot for the Titans, but now you throw this into the mix now too.
Sure.
Where it was still going to be the one time I was going to play the Titans, and now this nonsense happens.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And so Anthony Richardson, he was full on Thursday. He was limited today. All reports that I could see like yesterday and last night, Richardson was going to be the starting quarterback this week. I actually think that would be another reason why I would like the Titans. If it was Joe Flacco, I don't know if I would like Tennessee, but I think it's going to be Richardson to go in the game. Colts defensively, been a disaster. 24th DVOA, allowing 79 yards per game to wide receiver number ones all across the board. They're terrible against every position. 30th against tight ends for what it's worth, 25th against running backs. They're allowing 262 yards in the air, 4th worst in the league. The Titans defense, they are number 1 versus the pass, and they allow 124 yards per game in the air. Very low number. However, think about the quarterbacks here for a second. Caleb Williams was making his first ever start. Aaron Rodgers in his second start, short week. They played the opening Monday night game against San Francisco. Malik Willis in week 3, and they got Tyler Huntley in week 4. Had the week 5 bye. That's who they were playing. So I would actually expect the defense to play good again this week, right? Through the air, if it's going to be Richardson at quarterback.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, and I would love Tennessee if it was Rudolph. That's the thing. Can you get there with Levis? You know? And he's going to go, and is the stupid decision going to happen? Is he going to turn it over? But it's a game that they should move the ball at will, though. Just don't beat yourself. Because how bad this Indy defense is.
Right.
I mean, when does Trevor Lawrence... Lawrence hasn't played like that in a long time. What they were able to do, though, and go up and down the field against them.
Oh, man, this was setting up as a perfect scenario here. You're exactly right. Tennessee, like on the money line, Tennessee in contest plays, and it looked like we had a bunch of stuff going in that direction, right? Because I'm with you. Yeah. I would be on them if it was Mason Rudolph, and all of a sudden this garbage didn't take place today with the injury report.
There was a good back and forth on this. I saw some good stuff on social media. If it's Flacco, I like the over. If it's Richardson against Levis, I like the under. If it's Rudolph against Richardson, I like the Titans.
Yeah.
What he went through with on the breakdown, I thought that was pretty good. I actually agree with all of it.
Yep. So fine, but because of all of what we're talking about here now, it did reach 3 at most spots for Tennessee. It's a 1-win team off a bye. Haven't done much this year. Colts can be high-flying, super high-scoring games as well. But 3 was the point where I think backers just said too many points for Tennessee to be laying here in this game. But a fascinating matchup overall. I'm down for all that what you were talking about, by the way.
Yeah. I feel a lot better Tennessee standpoint if it was Rudolph, though. Just knowing how
so would I.
The decision making with this guy. So
is Houston going to run away with that division?
Yeah, that's what it's priced at. I would think it's going to happen.
Like even
they should.
Now their schedule is backloaded too, but I don't think that there's a serious challenger in this division.
Yeah. The one thing too on the Bears game, in the international games, the favorite is on a 35-10-1 run straight up. That's another thing too.
Wow.
But a little funky.
Well, that came in last week with Minnesota. It was not easy. It should have been. It was not. You had to hang on for dear life in that spot, but
Put the VSiN experts to work for you this football season. Start betting smarter with a VSiN Pro subscription. Sign up VSiN Pro annual subscription today. Get your first year only $199. Promo code FTM. Full access to everything we do. Every best bet, every host, every guest. 24/7 video access, betting splits, and the all-new NBA betting guide. It's out. Von Tobel and the crew did a great job. Promo code FTM. First year VSiN Pro $199. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get it today. Everything we offer, the Mackin and betting systems as well. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Up next, VSiN host Mike Somich is going to join the program. He always comes loaded with a bunch of games that he likes in the NFL. He has a bunch of sides, a bunch of totals that he likes, and a ton of player props as well, including one that he said he just stumbled upon that we like quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So get some Samo bombs with Mike Somich next here on VSiN.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
The hardcore NFL here. Bets, sides, totals, player props. As Mike Somich joins the program now, VSiN host. His show is called Ready, Set, Bet. Saturdays, 7 until 10 Eastern time. That includes the last hour, the contest show at Circa, which is must-watch television and listen to radio every single week, and also Sundays from 8 until 11 Eastern. Mike, good to talk to you today. How are you?
Doing good. Excited for another week of the NFL here. A phenomenal week last week. Nice to get those Brian Thomas Jr. props home and score at 6-1 and 11-1 on those two. So just hoping we can find a couple more nice props that we can get home at big plus money numbers.
Don't forget about Kraft too for Green Bay.
Yeah.
That was a nice one, too.
That was a big one.
Those Kraft ladders last week.
Yeah. Okay, so let's begin with the side that you like. You can tie it into a player prop as well. The Lions laying 3 here. Eric Kendrick's going to miss the game. Another defensive injury here for the Cowboys. You like Detroit here laying the points?
I do. I think this is a great spot for Detroit. They're coming off a bye year, so they have extra rest here heading into Dallas. I realize we're laying it on the road here, but because of the spot, I think it's more than okay to do so. Dallas coming off a tough game where they played Pittsburgh close. Now they've got to travel back home and take on this Detroit Lions team. And this Lions team's offense, specifically against Seattle, looked like they were starting to hum, able to integrate the run game with that passing attack. And when you look at what Detroit's able to do through the air, that to me is where I think they're going to have a ton of success. You hear a lot about injuries the week they happen. People kind of forget after the first week that they're still there. You're still missing 2 of the top front 7 for Dallas, and Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence here. They weren't there last week. I think this Detroit team built to take advantage of that through the run game, but also through the passing attack without one of the top cornerbacks there for Dallas as well. So because of the injuries that we've got to both the secondary and the front 7, I think Detroit able to pick their score. You flip over to the other side, I do think the Cowboys have some effectiveness on offense, but it's just a team that's not coached well, not offensively coached well, and struggles in the red zone. And when you're going against a team that can put up 7s on the other side, it's hard to stay in the game if that's the case. So I'm happy to lay Detroit minus the 3 here. And I was also shocked when I was looking through the prop market. I know you guys have talked about this before, but if you look at longest field goal in this game, who kicks that, Detroit or Dallas? Dallas right now plus 105. That makes no sense to me here.
No.
Because you have a coach who likes kicking field goals with a kicker who can absolutely boom them against an aggressive coach who would much rather go for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 from the 35. So not only do you have the kicker with the bigger leg on Dallas's side, you also have the coach who's more likely to kick a long field goal on Dallas's side as well. So we'll go Dallas with the longest field goal made here, plus 105.
It's absurd. I mean, even
it's wild.
You're right about, but he's plus money in all these games. So you have the best kicker in NFL history. The last 2 years, Aubrey, 55, 60, 65, 52, 57, 51, 60, 52, 58, 50. This is his game log. So it's like you know what you have to do to beat him in this situation. I can't believe it's plus money or like $1.10 every week.
It's crazy to me because you have the coach who's willing to kick those field goals. A lot of coaches in the NFL, if it's 4th and 1 and you're sitting there and you got a 55-yarder, they're going to go for it 9 times out of 10. McCarthy's like, nah, let's just kick it. Let's just keep kicking it. It's great for this prop.
Oh, I love it. How about the London game?
London game is awfully interesting here. You've got 2 teams that, you've got a Bears team that has been interestingly priced in this market throughout the process here because last couple weeks we saw them -3, -4 against teams like Carolina and a really beat up Rams team. They were -2 all week. There were multiple groups that came out and gave out the Jacksonville side. That's why we've seen it move from +2, +2.5 down to this +1 number now. But I want to attack this Jacksonville defense specifically through the air. They are a mess. They're still trying to play man across the board, but they don't have the cornerbacks to be able to do so. To me, you target DJ Moore here. He's going to get deep shots in this man coverage. He's also likely to be able to get one of those slip screens and take it for 30, 40 yards. Right now, his receiving total sitting at 61.5. So let's go over receiving total 61.5 for DJ Moore. And then let's take a 100-yard plus receiving day for Moore as well. That's plus 350 right now in the market.
Okay, I love it. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mike Somich, our guest, VSiN host, and you can follow him on X. He is at Samobomb18. Okay, so let's go to another side here. I was surprised when I looked at the look-ahead numbers last week to see the Chargers where they were at on the road against Denver, and then they took money after they reopened again on Sunday, got all the way to 3, where it's been the whole time here. Do you like the home divisional dog in Denver?
I do. I think the wrong team's favored here. I have Denver as a half-point favorite. Now, I bet Denver the last 4 weeks. I'm higher than the market on Denver.
Yeah, okay.
I'm lower than the market on San Diego or on the Los Angeles Chargers here. So I was expecting I was going to bet this game, but I didn't in my wildest dreams think we were going to get a full field goal here. Feels like a lot of people are just playing that Harbaugh juju off the bye and saying that's just going to carry them to a victory here. I disagree. I love this Denver defense. The offense from the Chargers side, very one-sided. They want to be able to run the football. If they can't, they get in trouble. You've got Surtain who's going to be able to shut down McConkey on the other side. So you're talking about Joshua Palmer having to beat you if they're going to throw the football. And this Denver offense, well, Bo Nix hasn't been great consistently. He's had these little flashes where he's able to move the ball, and this isn't exactly a vaunted Chargers defense. If you're able to block their two ends, all of a sudden you can move the football against them. I think Denver has some success moving the football here. Happy to take the +3 with Denver this week.
All right, very good. We got a lot going on, as we talked about in this Titans game. It's going to be Levis against Richardson, and now all of a sudden Downs and Pittman are questionable. Taylor's out. What do you think of, if you have any opinion on the total and then player props?
Yeah, this is going to be the game that I'm unfortunately going to force myself to watch the most of this week because I'm going to be all over this game. I mean, first off, Colts are a dead over team. Give me over 43.
Yeah.
I feel like this Titans offense is going to be able to move the football. Love the fact that we're off a bye. Love the fact that out of Tennessee, they're saying we're going to throw the football more. We're going to get it to Ridley. We're going to get it to Hopkins. That's how you want to attack this Colts defense. And the Colts, well, with Richardson at quarterback, you might not lean toward that over. Look, they're going to take shots. You're going to get multiple shot plays down the field. If you can connect on a couple of them, I do think it's pretty easy to get over this 43 total. I also laid the 2.5 with Tennessee. I don't mind that it's Levis. I think this bye week is going to really help Tennessee be able to come in here and take care of business against the Colts. And then player prop wise, one of my favorites this whole week is DeAndre Hopkins here. He's sitting at 41.5 for his receiving total. I'll take the over on that. I'm going to believe them when they say they're going to make an effort to get Hopkins involved in this game plan. And on top of that, this is a awful secondary, awful passing defense really for the Colts. They've given up career best passing days the last 3 weeks to all the quarterbacks they've faced. That was Caleb Williams, then Justin Fields, then Trevor Lawrence. Why not have another one here for Will Levis? I think Hopkins easily flies over the 41.5, and his ladders are really attractive to me. You can go out and get over 80 yards, that's plus 550. You can get over 100 yards, that's 14-1 in some places. I think Hopkins has an opportunity to have a big day against a very bad Colts secondary. This is the same secondary we targeted last week with Brian Thomas Jr. I'm going to just keep targeting this secondary until they prove they can stop somebody through the air.
Very good.
Yep.
I like it. Excellent. Now, does Atlanta go off again against Carolina?
It sure feels like they should. I mean, this Carolina team on the defensive side is an absolute mash unit at this point. Any good player they have is now on the IR. So they're sending out a bunch of second and third string players. They're in the fourth and fifth string in the linebacking unit. The cornerbacks are banged up. You've got edge banged up. You've got inside banged up. Atlanta should be able to pick what they want to do against this team. I've been preaching this Carolina team as an over team. This feels like another over game for me. Opened at 48. You had a big group release. That's what brought the number down from 48 down to that 46.5. I took some 46.5. I'm going back in at over 47 here. I think Falcons are able to pick their score against a Carolina defense. And on the other side, look, Carolina can still move the football. Last week was a bad matchup against that Bears defense. This is a much better matchup against a very weak pass rush from this Atlanta Falcons team. You're going to have Dalton have all the time in the world to be able to sit back in the pocket and find receivers downfield. I think Carolina can score in this game. I'm surprised. I shouldn't say I'm surprised. I'm extremely happy that under money came in because I wanted to make sure I got under. I wanted to play over any number under 48, and now we're sitting here at this 47 number. I love the over here, and I also love Mooney longest reception in this game. His number's sitting at 21.5. He's been the deep ball target all season long here for Cousins. I expect 2 to 3 shots down the field. Not a guy who's going to get a bunch of receptions, but those receptions are going to go for quite a bit of yards. I was surprised that his longest reception sitting at just 21.5 yards. So we'll go over in the game, and then Mooney longest reception over 21.5 yards.
Condolences on what happened to you in Survivor with the 49ers. It's a sick beat. A minute left. What would you do if you were the individual who still has 6 entries left?
Oh, man, I think this is one of those weeks where you just try and get through it. If you still have the Eagles left, I would actually put all 6 on the Eagles.
Really?
It feels like this is one of those weeks. Look, I trust this team again off this bye, and Cleveland's an absolute mess. The whole locker room has rebelled against the fact that Deshaun Watson should be playing quarterback. They all want Jameis Winston. If you go back and you watch the pregame speech by Jameis Winston last week, the entire team responds to it and then could care less about Deshaun Watson. Until they switch quarterbacks there, I think Cleveland is an absolute dead team here. I would put all 6 on the Eagles and try and get through this week and then find other opportunities to be able to diversify later in the season.
Would you use an option at all? Or do we think about it down the road on one of the worst games?
Oh, man. Maybe you could go, like, I actually like the Titans quite a bit this week. We talked about them a little bit. I think that's a spot you could use. I think the Bucs are in a great spot as well. Huge rest advantage, rookie quarterback that's coming in. So I played -3 with the Bucs, too. I think the Bucs another good spot for Survivor if you want to get frisky.
All right, Mike. Awesome job as always, man. Thanks so much for the time. We appreciate that.
You got it. Good luck this weekend.
Yep, back at you. There you go. Ready, Set, Bet, his show, 7 p.m. Saturday night. And the back end of that, the final hour is the contest show, which is dynamite content every single week. Pauly's going to run down win-lose, and we'll go over some big props in tonight's Major League Baseball game next.
In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, a sports oasis awaits. Stadium Swim, the ultimate outdoor amphitheater, built for the ultimate sports fan. With a colossal screen that brings the game closer than ever. Reserve a daybed, private cabana, or lounge in the center of it all. 6 pools to dive into as the game heats up. And the best part, there's never an off-season. Open 365 days a year. Stadium Swim, it's always spectator season.
Matt Brown and Mike Somich are on Ready, Set, Bet as they get you ready to make your bets as the last batch of football games kick off.
What I took away from this is I want to bet against the Patriots when they're behind by 2 scores.
We were going, well, I wonder if this team's actually better than we thought. They're not. They just have enough talent.
Don't miss out on crucial advice for live betting once the game starts, as well as looking ahead to the upcoming action. Tune in to Ready, Set, Bet, Saturdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network. last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
A lot of tickets cashed last night. Debo first touchdown, 9-1. Most receiving yards, plus 575. Cash that. We told you how he eats up Seattle every single game. Most rushing yards, Garendo, 70-1. As Mitch said, can you imagine any time or last touchdown of the game? And what do you think was it even offered 100 yards and a score? He would have had that. He falls down. That's the one time where you score.
Yeah.
You're only up 5, my friend.
We got a tweet on that asking, was that his intention to slide? No doubt. Or because the guy made contact with him trying to make the tackle, he decided at that point to slide.
I don't know. There was some talk about he was looking at the sideline at someone. I don't know. I don't know. Geno Smith, 300 yards plus 280. That happens.
Well,
again.
You liked that one yesterday.
Yep. Purdy over 2.5 touchdown passes plus 275. Here at Circa, Purdy to throw 3 plus 450. And then the man who benefits was Juszczyk, 8-1 anytime touchdown at Caesars and Will Hill. Kittle 2 touchdowns, 10-1. You said be careful. Defensive or special teams touchdown plus 250. The kickoff return. MLB playoffs, Ramirez plus 575 to go deep. McKinstry plus 1150 at MGM to go deep. WNBA, Lynx plus 210. NHL, the Bruins from 250 up to $3. And how about this? If you're a New Yorker or New Jersey, the schedule starting Sunday. Sunday, Game 1 NLCS, the Mets play. Sunday night, the Giants play against the Bengals. Monday afternoon, it's Game 2 in the day, NLDS, CS with the Mets. At night, it's Jets, Bills, and Yankees, whoever, in Game 1. Game 2, it's the Yankees. Wednesday, it's Game 3 with the Mets. They both play on Thursday, Mets and Yankees. This is bedlam. This will never happen again.
That's crazy.
Can't be, right? And then the NFL teams are involved, too. Subscribe, be part of
Please tell me like the Rangers and Islanders play each other or something like that, too.
Oh, I'm sure that happens.
Yeah.
Take a look. That's funny. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. Here it is, Tristan, on a train in Saskatchewan. What enhanced? I have the enhanced video. How does the NFL not have it? How does the review center not have it? There he is with his feet up, watching the game on a small TV, and he's got it. I'm just baffled by that.
Am I.
Doesn't make any sense, and they blow the call and can't see that the punt hit the Seattle player, and it should have been Niners' ball. Am I going to get you here? This one's awesome. The dogs. This is Daisy and Luna. Daisy, the little gal, is afraid of car rides. Luna protecting them, and then they fall asleep together till it's
great.
okay. Yeah,
great photo.
Doesn't like the car rides. And then on the right, until they fall asleep and they're out, and that's okay. But the protection, that is awesome, right? Yep. It's a lose some and a bad beat. Liberty Lane 6 and money line. Up 15 with 5 minutes left. You can't be serious. And they lost. Teams in that situation, it's the largest comeback in finals history. And teams in that situation, down 15 with less than 5 minutes, 0 and 183 all time.
Wow.
There's your big one with the Lynx. They're also 74% in the finals when you win Game 1, best of 5.
To win the whole thing.
Yeah. Now the series price is $1.10. You got a free roll Sunday. Again, going against the NFL, which is, and then one lose some. How about the dog here? According to the owner, he constantly thinks the screen door is closed, so they have to pretend to open it for him to come inside. Here's where the girl comes over. Got that? Yeah, here you go. Oh, I got to open it. Oh, okay. Now I can come in, right? It's open. But he thinks it's open. It's always open.
Oh, so you know what happened here? There's got to be a screen door that's tough to see that he missed one time when he was flying in, and he had to go ricocheting off it, but hit his head off it. Something like that had to happen.
Okay.
But look at this, though. His head breaks the plane. Like if we're playing football here, it's a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, nope, still not good. Look at right there. Right there. Breaks the plane.
Touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So it was just, that's awesome. Right? That's great. Also, the Sharks, bad beat. They led the Blues 4-1 in the third period and lost. Oh, if you ever get red hot.
So the Blues have done it twice now this year? Opening day.
Well, that was 2-0 in the second. No,
right.
That wasn't. No, you're thinking of Vancouver, I think. You ever get red hot betting and think your picks are worth money? Juice Reel, changing the way sports bettors buy and sell betting advice. You and everyone else links their accounts into Juice Reel. All your history loads into the free app with everyone's bets imported straight from the books. You're as good as your betting data says you are. Unlock the picks that real talented bettors have their money on. Get paid real money when other people unlock your picks. Fully transparent betting advice from real people only on Juice Reel. Download for free, iPhone, Android, REL. Grab your phone, download it now. Get the app, Juice Reel.
Look at this. The Dodgers are going to go with Yamamoto tonight. It's the right play. They had to do it. They gave him that big contract. He didn't pitch that much early on in the series. And the Dodgers are laying about $1.35, $1.38 in the game.
They gave him a $320 million contract.
There's also that.
Let me give him the ball. The other thing. Last night, I have to do it, and it's not because we love him and he's a friend. I gave Matt Vasgersian a standing ovation last night. He was so good in the postgame on MLB Network that so everyone's taking shots at Darvish about the postseason history. So they're running down and they're showing the game log and everything. Vasgersian jumps in and cut. Oh, no. 2017 doesn't count. The Astros knew what was coming. Good for him. And that's important to point out what happened also in the World Series.
Yeah, also, that's unfortunate for Clayton Kershaw, too.
No doubt.
The guy's had, look, I mean, I don't have to tell you how bad it's been for him in the postseason. He should get a pass for that one.
Yeah. Yep. But they've won all 6 starts since he came back in September, speaking of Darvish. And
he's been awesome in his career against the Dodgers.
Yep. So this is for all the marbles, it's great. So the Dodgers 52-29 at home, but 5 of the last 6 games, winner take all, the road team has won. So I just can't wait for this one tonight, but I trust Darvish more than Yamamoto. And then if we get into a battle of the bullpens, whatever, but Darvish was great first time out. And, you know, the Mets are loving life too, because again, it goes 5, and you took care of business early. But funny that the Dodgers, I imagine if the Dodgers lose this game.
Well, I hope they do.
You spent $1 billion. Yeah. Well, I understand your futures, but the Dodgers spent $1 billion in the offseason. And this would be the 3rd year in a row they can't even win a playoff series.
Yeah.
111 wins, lost to the Padres in 4.
Who's the pressure on tonight?
Clearly the Dodgers. Clearly. 100 wins last year, got swept. And then here you spend all this money. I know you've had some injuries with the rotation, and then if the Padres stick it to you, oh boy, that's bad.
Okay, so projected look-ahead numbers here, right? Dodgers minus 175 in a series against the Mets. Padres minus 160 against the Mets. Even if I did not have Padres 20-1 to win the National League, if that's the series, Mets plus 140 would be an autoplay.
Yeah, gotta like the Mets.
So there's no doubt that I'll lock that in, and then that'll be a hedge bet and whatever. I'll be good to go. Yeah. Yamamoto's earned runs tonight, 1.5 over is minus 130.
Really?
Does he go enough?
How long will he go?
Let's say he goes 4 innings. Do they just pull him at that point and say, we're going to turn into a bullpen game? Has he given up?
Probably it's Roberts.
Yeah. Roberts 5-2, by the way, in elimination games.
You know, all of a sudden, the Padres haven't scored, have this drought. 15 innings. 13 of the 25 games have featured a comeback win so far. 6 have happened the 7th inning or later. How good are these playoffs? Huh. Yesterday was great, too.
All of these games have been, like, we're not getting blowouts at all. Oh, well, we had the 8-0 game, which was the one that really
tough.
stands out.
Yeah,
but
tough was one. Yeah, that was it. But
home run numbers tonight are real. Like Ohtani's plus 220. That's the best number I could find. We're not betting Ohtani plus 220 to hit a home run. He might hit 2. I'm not betting that number. Tatis, the best I could find was plus 340. Is that doable? That's in consideration for me.
Actually, I'd rather bet a double. I think.
Okay.
A better price.
How about bets at plus 450?
He's been hot.
Yeah.
That was something right. I can just go over total bases there with him or runs, hits, RBIs.
I got, here's the bets total bases over 1.5 is plus 130.
Get out.
That looks juicy to me.
Yes.
Ohtani over 1.5 is minus 115. Tatis over 1.5 is plus 110. Remember, Matty Ice told us yesterday, Tatis in the history here at Dodger Stadium, he loves him.
Yep.
Thinks he's going to have a big night tonight.
Mm-hmm. Going to be a great atmosphere. Behave yourselves out there, but this is great.
Will Darvish give up more than 2.5 runs?
Yeah, it's hard about how they're going to do it, and how long. But I think he can go 6. I think he can get 6 innings.
I think you really have to. I mean, this is where he just did it against them, and again, his history here. He's got his ERA is brilliant. It's in the low 2s. in 15 career appearances against the Dodgers. And, oh, by the way, as I pointed out yesterday, I know this is the first year with Ohtani. I don't care because every Dodgers team for the last 10 years has been awesome offensively. And it hasn't affected Darvish for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So watch Ohtani hit a leadoff one tonight now. All right. A lot to get to in the final 2 hours of the program. We will hit the remaining games that we haven't talked about yet in the National Football League for Week 6 and a ton of, we love going over the weekly props, which we'll touch on next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The only thing better than football is the excitement of all the content.